Those are usually the small tricks that get you from like a normal standard home producer sound to a pro sound or more pro sound.
Until we know we are.
Hey guys, welcome to the vlog. It's an extremely busy day. I have today 3 meetings, all of them 2 to 4 hours. All have to do with the new studio and some business ideas for the new studio. But more on that in a later vlog. Let me just go take care of all of those meetings. Can't share them anyways. And then do another edition of our favorite segment, Track Submits. So yeah, welcome to Track Submits, the little segment where I listen to your music that you sent me, give you feedback, try to estimate how long you will need to get it out on a big and good label, and also give you some tips and tricks. By the way, the meetings, all big waste of my time. I could have spent it in here making music, which I always prefer, but meeting people that want to do business with me and just tell me how they will make me a millionaire. And then if I ask them a little bit more concrete what they want to do, and it all falls apart, that's really just a big waste of time. So don't meet with these kind of people that talk more than they do. I absolutely hate that. But yeah, anyways, let's get right into the very first track called Jealous by Riff featuring Ella.
You just want it all for yourself. You just want it all. Call it jealousy, call it jealousy, call it jealousy. I don't really care. Call it jealousy,
Really strong start here on Track Submits. The song is cool. I love the mood. The mixing is alright. It's not like the typical EDM production. It's also not the typical pop radio EDM stuff. It's more into an electronic, electro-pop singer-songwriter style. It's a very slow, moody, and minimal song. So I see it more as a track where a producer makes something for a singer and songwriter, and it's their name on the record. It's really a fine line, and it's merging more and more that producers put their name in front, although it's actually more about the singing. But all in all, good. I would say to make this even better, the songwriting could be better, the main melody of the chorus could be catchier, the lyrics could be catchier. So there is still room to improve, mostly on the lyric vocal kind of side. Because right now it's nice and cute, but it doesn't stand out in any way. It's like good kind of background chill, maybe listening to it on the radio kind of music. It needs a little spice, a little grit to make it more interesting. Also the different section between verse, chorus, it all sounds too much the same. So there the producer needs to just switch it up a little more to keep it interesting. The sound of the bass is cool. I would just love it to play in certain parts differently. Maybe a lot more notes, maybe going down to 16 notes and speeding it up, spicing it up, changing it a little more, because this song just, yeah, I think it just needs a little more effort. This on a label, I would say maybe like half a year, maybe a year, because like the technical knowledge is there, but it's more about putting more effort into it, more working on the details, just spending a little more time with the production. That's by Bozet, a song called Gecko. It sounds like someone more in his early stage of music producing. It's less full, less round. There are certain gaps in the frequencies. You can see that in the analyzer around 2K. There's just nothing. The sound's a little awkward. Also, the top frequencies are too low, the bottom part too emphasized, and the main synthesizer sound It's just like sitting on top of the entire track. It's too loud. It's not embedded into the song. The melody is kind of fine, the synthesizer sound also, but it's all not really that complex. This sounds like maybe 10 tracks, and I think a full production should have at least twice or 3 times as much. Not saying that you can't go for a minimal approach, a song that has less in it and the less stuff is just better and it sounds good. Then you have really to do the fine details, the small tricks, having like ambient sounds in the background, small little effects throughout the entire song to keep it interesting, having layers for the synthesizer where maybe one layer opens up the cutoff, the other closes it, so that you have some modulation, some movement throughout really the entire song. So here I would give an estimate for around 2 years. Don't take this estimate always too serious. If you work every day 8 hours on music, it might be even a year. But if you just have like the weekend time, it might be 3 or 4 years, or maybe never, because you're just giving up on the way getting there. Please don't do that. Don't give up, because every hour you spend on making music, learning how to make music, the second you give up, it's all wasted. And if you're like me and you put a lot of time into that, just don't waste it. This track by Submetrics called Tears has one big main issue and problem, and that is the selection of the right sounds. And that's something that comes with experience. But for example, in the drums, they sound too live for this kind of electronic music he's trying to go for. Also the synthesizer sounds, they sound all very cheap, very stock, plug in, open it up and just play around. So I would highly recommend to just spend a lot more time selecting the right samples, going through a bunch of presets in your synthesizer and pick the ones that sound cool, because this kind of sound, it just doesn't work, I think. It just doesn't work. It's also too high up in an octave, so it's playing really high, and you usually want to have like the melodic, the core part, more in the middle of the frequencies. You don't want the action to be in the top frequencies. That always sounds awkward. The top is more for hi-hats, pads, and maybe some arpeggiators. But like the main melody should sit right in the middle. Here with this track, I would say at least 3 years, because I can't even hear really a style, a direction. So yeah, just keep it up. Just learn the program, learn your DAW, and then listen to a lot of other people's music, analyze it, try to copy it to some extent just to advance. Maybe just take someone else's song, drop it into your DAW, go through it step by step, analyze it, write down how many elements can you hear in the verse, in the break, in the intro, and try to mimic that. If that person used, for example, just kick, clap, and an off hi-hat in the intro, maybe just do the same. And if it doesn't sound the same, then try to listen again, because probably you missed that person used some kind of ambient, some effects, maybe some white noise in the background, a lot of reverb, just to make it sound more polished and round. Those are usually the small tricks that get you from like a normal standard home producer sound to a pro sound, or more pro sound.
We've been fighting, we've been crawling, we've been crying to reach this golden run. We've been fighting, we've been crawling, we've been crying.
This was by Pharaoh, The Golden Age. I can't really say what kind of style it is. Has a lot of live elements in the drums. Here I'd say the biggest problem is too much. There's too much stuff, and every single, or it's actually not too much stuff, it's more every single element in the song tries to be the star of the show. So the vocals try it, they can't, because everyone else also tries, so they compete. The drums try it, the melodic elements try it. It's all really up front, everything has the same loudness, kind of no real EQing and separation. You have to go in there and separate the things. Make the drums their own little section, the vocals in the middle on top, make them shine, a little reverb on top. And then the melodic parts, like the instruments, pull them a little down to have more room for the vocals, and maybe have like an arpeggiator quiet in the background that someone might just hear listening to the track for the third time, that still gives it a little melody and vibe. And also the chords, maybe pull them a little down, cut the top frequencies off, just to make everything sit in there nicely. Like your mix is one box and it just has this certain amount of space, and you have to make sure everything sits nicely and organized in it, is separated but still touching each other so it doesn't sound empty in between, and make sure to give every element the right amount of space in that box. And here every element has the same amount of space, so maybe take a little bit of the drums away, give it to the vocals, maybe also with the main melodic elements, just to balance it out. Anyways, that's it for today. I hope you liked the tips and tricks and learned something, or at least had fun to listen to other people's music that do the same as you. If you want to be part of the next edition of Track Submits, the link's down below in the description. Just send me your song, and if you're lucky, I might pick yours. I always just pick them by random. So good luck, and we'll see us tomorrow back again here in the studio, hopefully with no meetings.